Pastor Josh here at St. John's had asked me to say a few words about why I'm a United Methodist. I'm from New Mexico. I've lived in Lubbock for the last several years. I grew up in a small oil town in eastern New Mexico. There's a lot I could talk about. I was raised in the Methodist Church, which later became the United Methodist Church. The United Methodist Church is, I always use the example of the cross. We have a vertical beam on the cross, and the vertical beam is about our personal relationship with the divine. But we also have a horizontal beam, and you can't have one without the other. And the horizontal beam has to do with our involvement with other people, our commitment to community, and social commitments. And that's not like optional. That's kind of who we are. I was very involved in my church. We had a church choir, youth fellowship, and the church of which I was a part, even though it was a conservative oil town, was very much involved in conversation about social issues. For instance, this was the days of the Vietnam War. We had discussions and debates in the basement of our church about the Vietnam War and about war in general. We were one of the very first institutions or groups, our youth group was, to incorporate and assimilate people from the African American community. There was another church in which we invited, and we had dialogue, and we talked with each other, where basically the schools were going through the pain of integration and learning for people of different races to live together, and our church helped with that. And that was a commitment, and it wasn't optional, but that was part of who we were as a United Methodist Church. In 1988, the General Conference, which was our global delegation of United Methodists, we're about 1,000 delegates to represent, 10 million Methodists across the world. They decided to establish a university in Africa, and they named it Africa University. I was fortunate enough in 1992 in Louisville, Kentucky, all the way from Hobbs, New Mexico to Louisville, Kentucky, to attend our general conference when the delegates celebrated the opening of Africa University. Africa University is, even to this day, is supported. Every time I put money in the collection plate, which I try to do every month, unless I forget, and I don't forget very often, is a small portion of that goes to support the three schools, Pan-African, not just for Zimbabwe, but for all of Africa. The three schools are theology, business administration, and agriculture. And students from throughout Africa can go because my church and other United Methodist churches are committed to that. One thing that happens because we have a connected church, a church which is about institutions, not about individuals. We talk an awful lot. I like to talk a lot about the community rather than the individual. Because we have these organizational commitments, we can accomplish ministry on the other side of the world, in Africa or next door, locally here in East Lubbock or wherever. And because of that, I'm proud to be a part of an institution that is stronger than any one personality. Now, I love our pastor. Pastor Josh is a great preacher, and he's a great leader. But we're bigger than one pastor or one member. And because of that, I'm a proud supporter of the United Methodist Church, and will continue to be. I'm too old to do anything else other than continue to be a United Methodist. And I'm going to be a United Methodist here at St. John's for the future.